Welcome to part 2 of our two-part series with Operation Honor Rural Salute and Executive Director Michelle Lang. If you haven't checked out episode 1 yet, we encourage you to start there first, and thank you for listening.
We had people there all day at the VA tent, like asking questions, getting enrolled, getting the help. I had people that would come up to me and just like they were so gracious and they were so thankful because one guy said to me, I got more done in 20 minutes than I have in the last 30 years trying to fight this. And it's just like incredible because what we did is we put the VA on Veteran Resource Row. So once you get done with the VA, if you think that you're going to have problems submitting your claim or you have a claim in limbo that needs to work on, well, guess what? I have two nonprofits there, independent of the VA, that's going to help you tell your story to the VA whenever it's time. That's going to help you, a lawyer that's going to help you go to court and fight your claim. That's going to get you that disability rating. That's going to whatever. Like I had people there that finally got the hearing aids they need. Young people, I'm not even talking about Vietnam veterans. Like, yeah, it was incredible. Like I had one couple that brought their father in, father-in-law in, because he did not have his wife set up in the system. And so they were like, having these conversations, Dad, if something happens to you, Mom is in trouble. She's going to be, left on her own trying to figure out the system as a widow. And it's not a system she understands. So you're going to come and you're going to do this. They drug him there. Okay. 15 minutes got the problem solved. So that way the wife is all taken care of. And the kids were just like, that's such a huge relief that I don't have to worry about now. Like I know that my mom's going to be taken care of. And so it's not just, it really is for the whole family. Like it's peace of mind for the whole family. And the thing that people don't understand is that there are like millions of dollars worth of benefits the VA has that goes unused every year because people don't know about them. And I would say like that's largely in rural areas, like especially for widows, especially for caregivers. And it's just like it's there. So let's just use it and have a little bit of an easier life,
Yeah. That's the thing is the stats are kind of alarming. Like there's half of eligible veterans in the U.S. are not registered with the VA or affiliated with any veteran service organization. And so even what you're talking about with the benefits that are available, that awareness or the education piece of knowing this is something that you've earned, this is a benefit that you deserve. Is there something that's stood out to you that you learned? Because that stat for me, the half, it resonates in my mind all the time. Is there something that you've learned during this process? You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And like, this is crazy. This is something that we need to like share more and spread awareness of.
Yeah. So probably I like everything to me is like a puzzle. So I feel like I have all these puzzle pieces like floating around me constantly. And so I'm just trying to bring them in and put them together because they fit so nicely. And so my whole goal, like the overarching mission of Operation Honor Rural Salute, is to help revitalize rural America and these small towns through veterans becoming so financially, holistically, mentally well that they can become leaders in the community and they can, just give back and continue to serve the way that they want to. And what I learned is that it's really hard to move into rural America. It shouldn't be because 75% actually, I think technically the statistic is 84%, but I always say 75% of eligible veterans in the United States do not use their VA loans. And what I've learned is that these real estate agents, these mortgage lenders in rural America, they don't understand how the VA loan works. And they steer people away from the VA loan. And so that is a huge wealth building tool for veterans and their families, especially if you want to revitalize an economy. If you can't afford to buy a house there, how are you going to have people work there? How are you going to we have remote employment opportunities now. I can hook you up with a remote, employer I can hook you up with somebody that does entrepreneurship. You can start your own business. I can hook you up with somebody that will help you buy a daggone business in rural America. But if you can't afford to live there, then it doesn't matter. So that's what we're trying to do. Like these employers say, I want to hire veterans. I want to hire veterans, blah, blah, blah. Great. What's your plan for getting them there? Because the veterans you're telling me you want to hire are not C-suite executive level veterans. They are blue collar line worker veterans.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you need to know about the VA loan and you need to have the correct resources to be able to connect them with a real estate agent that's knowledgeable in the benefits that they've earned. So let's start there. So that is the piece of the puzzle that I'm trying to solve, employment wise, at least. How do we get people to rural America that want to live there, get them a house they want to live in, and get them employed?
That is a wild stat, Michelle.
Yeah, it's
I had
crazy.
no idea. Yeah. Do you see, like, are there rural areas? That word,
I
rural,
know it is tough.
is that you guys serve that seem like they have more disparities than others? Like, for instance, like we're saying, is it usually areas that are located near major installations that still are able to um, have some semblance of that connection and access to care? Or do you feel like it's just if you're far enough away or far enough away, it doesn't matter what state you're in or what you're close to?
Listen, you move to a rural area or a small town because you want to be there and you don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
um, so that's like, I mean, the average person, the average American is just like doing our best to get by every day. It is really, really hard to take control of your life. I mean, that's a different level of mental like toughness that you've got to lock into whenever you just finished 20 years, when you just finished 15 years, whatever. And now you're in this new world. So like I find it doesn't really matter how rural it is. I mean, there's challenges being super rural without Wi-Fi.
Right.
Some people are still on, dial up, if anything.
Mhm.
So obviously that's a different challenge, but there's a certain type of um, do-it-yourselfer attitude that these folks they just don't want to be bothered, and that's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm the same way. We moved out to the country here because I don't want to be bothered. I have my little garden. I have my sourdough. My kids can run around, be feral backyard. We got a
You
fence.
have
We're
a
good.
cat. We know about your cat.
Yeah, we got 2 cats. George Washington, he got attacked by the hawk. My kids named him.
Such a good name. Do they call
Yeah.
him president sometimes or?
No, it's just George.
Okay.
Yeah, George, and he fought a hawk and he won. So I think George Washington would be pretty proud of that.
What's your other cat's name?
Betsy Ross.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah, I gave them, they picked George Washington. And so I said, okay, well, here's a list of names that you can pick from. So that way it's not like George Washington and ice cream or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we're
So
staying in this patriotic theme.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you've said about Operation Honor Roll Salute that connection and peer support are kind of core tenets too. And that's really what I'm hearing a lot. And what you're talking about is, it's easy to say how difficult it is in rural areas, and we know that. And I also think the upside to that is the community. I mean, you'll find like really no stronger communities than small town America. Why do you think that's something that's so important, especially from the mental health aspect, and maybe something that your husband was experiencing as he came out the first
I
time?
Yeah, like there's something very different about the veteran community and then like small town community. I know just growing up in a small town community, if you're born there, if you're raised there, you're part of that tribe, very similar to like the military community. But if you're moving back home and I experienced this, like I haven't been home in 10 years. Um, I've been traipsing around the country following my husband. And so whenever I came back to put on this event, they were like, you are an outsider. And I'm like, daggone it. I got to start all over here.
I'm in the yearbook.
Yeah. Like, hey, come on now. Um, so I have to use my maiden name all the time. Like whenever I do correspondence, I'm like, that's Michelle Baker. Just come on. Because we're so small. Um, Yeah, but the community is very, very tight knit, and there is that like fellowship and bonding. But if you are on the outside, moving back to a small town community, there's often not a lot of, I don't know, there's not a lot of activities to do to really get involved in the community unless you really, really put yourself out there, like join a gardening club, join the Lions Club, join, whatever it is that's there. So you have to be really proactive. I think spouses are better at that because that's what we have to do whenever we move around. Like, you've got to go socialize, you got to figure it out. You cannot isolate, but in small towns, it's really, really easy to isolate.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to ask you an impossible question because if you knew the answer to this, we would all be in a different spot. But how do you engage with veterans who might not know about the resources or who might not know what's available to them?
Um, it's really goes back to word of mouth because they know somebody that knows something, and we have to give the ask, like, please share this with your friends. That's how it gets done. Um, Word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth is the key to these areas, especially with social media. Like, having that referral from that small town veteran to his buddy, like, that is it. That's the ticket.
Hmm.
And yeah, they can see things on Facebook, like they can see things on Instagram, whatever, but they really need somebody to give it a chance
Hmm.
and then give that referral. I mean, that is everything. And just continuously showing up. Like, this is what I did whenever I first graduated college. My job was the community health and wellness coordinator at our local hospital. And so my number one job was to enroll people in the Affordable Care Act and health insurance. Um, I was not a well liked person doing that because, like, that area was very, it was tough. Um, I ended up enrolling, a couple thousand people though, and what I had to do was I just had to keep showing up. Like, every every week I did two seminars, whether one person showed up or whether 10 people showed up. I
Hmm.
was there answering their questions, listening to them talk. I was their therapist. I was, their friend. I was whatever they needed to be. And eventually I enrolled so many people because they just kept telling people to go to Michelle, go to Michelle, go to Michelle. And I mean, that's what it takes, is just showing up for people.
Hmm. That's what I was going to say. Word of mouth only works if you've built a trusted reputation, and especially in a small town community, there's a lot of loyalty. And so, if you should be proud of yourself because if you've demonstrated that you're a trustworthy person and that your organization is really there to help and not harm or not misguide, you'll have like a strong, ardent group of supporters going forward. And they
Hmm.
will spread the good word about what you're doing and the services you provide. And that's really what it's all about is just reaching more
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Their minds are blown whenever they realize that there's all these resources that, like, whenever they physically see it at these events, whenever they realize that, oh my gosh, these people showed up for us, like, that is crazy. That really is so simple. And to me, as somebody that goes to big events, it's like, wow, this really isn't as big as I want it to be. This isn't as much as I want to give to you. But for that area, it's just really, really unheard of.
Mhm. Yeah, do you have to rely on other community partners? Because again, I'm just thinking you're just one organization. You guys are doing such awesome work, but still, there's only, so much you can do with the team that you have and the resources you have. Have you met other VSOs or nonprofit organizations? You mentioned a couple of the military spouse ones, but that's something we care a lot about at Mission Roll Call is we have that same idea, right? We're not going to be able to do everything, but we can connect you to a trusted resource that might be able to help. Do you have some that you turn to as well?
You mean for the events or in general?
In general, yeah, like maybe if it's, or I don't know, maybe you haven't run into that, but if maybe there's a resource or a service that you don't provide or the VA doesn't provide, if you turn more grassroots with it.
Hmm. So that's all we do, is we build relationships with other organizations and direct people to them. So we we want to make organizations that are vetted and trusted look like rock stars. So I don't have, we have a small resource library. It's very intentionally small, so that way people don't get overwhelmed by it. But every resource on that library is like, I know them. I've had conversations with them. I have used them. I've ensured that they are going to do what they say they're going to do, and they're going to carry out their mission, and they're going to answer that email. They're going to answer that phone call. And so I always have these people to refer to. There's a lot of times where people will email us, they will get a hold of us, and they don't know where to start. So that's where like we're happy to say these are the three resources that you need to start with right away, and go from there. And sometimes that's all it takes for people just to like, oh wow, there's help there. And the handoff is great because I have a relationship with these people. As far as the events, we have my dream for these events is to have, like, I love bringing in local resources, but I would love to be so well funded that I could bring in these resources that are on my database and
Mhm.
move them from state to state, because our goal is to do one resource fair in every state. And so being able to showcase these resources like a living library on at these events would be super, super. But I rely heavily on relationships with community partners for these events, whether it's for fundraising, craft vendors, VSOs, whatever it is. Like it's a huge team effort.
Mhm. I bet. Well, you were smart to start with golf too. Brings
Yeah, it's
everyone
pretty
together.
easy. Yeah.
And it's like
And
5
like,
hours long. Well, my husband's always like, the course played slow today. I'm like, okay.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, I bet it did.
yeah.
I'm
We
gonna
have
read this. Go ahead.
our town is like so tiny, so tiny, but we randomly have a golf course. And so it's like it's perfect to go and have fun. And people are always like, I love your tournament's my favorite tournament all year. And I'm like, yeah, because I keep you guys are thirsty. I fill you up. And we just play games. We just play games out on the course. I said, this is such an unserious golf tournament. So if you guys came here ready to be competitive, you're not going to have a good time. We have an air cannon that comes. We have cornhole out there. I mean, it's a really, really fun time.
Yeah, we're like we're not catering to the scratch golfers, right? We're like, where did it go? It's I lost 7 balls on the first hole. That's what we're
Yeah.
looking for out here.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that you said that because I'm from Amish country. I'm not Amish, but that's how rural, and we have 2 golf courses. So just saying,
There's
it's
nothing else to do. It's
yeah,
pretty and yeah.
huh? Yeah. Well, there's high school football games that my family still goes to. I'm like, guys,
Oh,
we've
see,
all
you're
been
fancy.
graduated for many years, 20 years, haven't had a single family member in high school, but we're still at the games. Represent.
Yeah. Something to do. We don't have football in our entire county back home. That's how,
What?
that's how small we are.
No wonder you said fancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No time for we don't have enough kids to play the high school sports.
No, I graduated with like 62 people.
Really?
Yeah.
That is small. And that's Pennsylvania, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But now you're in North Carolina.
Yep. Now we're at the Fort Bragg area. We're outside Fort Bragg.
Hence your every 6 to 8 week stop in Fort Bragg. Otherwise, you're traveling quite far to make
Yes.
that
No,
happen.
it's a 7-hour trip around DC that I don't like to do.
No, thank you. Oh, I was saying, I'm going to read this question so I get the name right. But you were recently named to the 2025 Bush Institute Stand To Veteran Leadership Program. So, congratulations.
Thank
What does
you.
that mean for you and your organization? And maybe what are you hoping to get from that to continue expanding and doing more?
So it is a chance to really like collaborate and I mean, learn so much from other people. So they bring in 36 other people from across the country, different walks of life, we all have like our personal leadership project that we bring in. And so they basically handpick the class in
Mhm.
a way that they think will work well with each other. So we're all there very intentionally, which is so exciting. And the whole point of being there is just to help each other move their personal leadership project forward, in order to serve the greater veteran community. And I mean, they bring in, they bring in speakers, they bring in teachers, all sorts of things to really help us, I don't think, outside the box and maybe even totally reevaluate what we're doing in
Mm-hmm.
a lot of cases. But it's a really good opportunity. We get holed up in Dallas for 4 days a month, and just it's like you just go, like you're in it for four days with each other.
How cool. Yeah, just brainstorming, like putting stuff on the cutting room floor, advancing the things that seem like they're going to work, but then you're getting different perspectives to help guide it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not sure what it's all the details. We start in July. So, I've talked a lot to other alumni, and, of course, we're all in like our small groups. So it's very interesting. My small group is awesome. Love them. And I love just seeing other people's passion. And so we're all very collaborative, and that's what I love. Like, I'm really lucky to have met so many collaborative people in this nonprofit space, because it can be super dog eat dog in the nonprofit world. And I've seen that, but I've stayed away from it. Like, I don't care to mess with you if you're like that. I have such great allies and friendships in this nonprofit space that just genuinely want to help the veteran community, the military community. Um, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to be able to do this and like see how we can better serve the community.
I'm excited for you. And I always think I have so much respect for people like you who see a gap and who really do something about it. I mean, I'm on the other side where I work for an organization that somebody already had that idea and I came into it. But for you to have the idea and to have the grit and determination, even as a mom and a wife, to say, like, this is something I want to be part of, this is something I want to build, and then to do all you're doing to advance that is really, really cool. So I'm excited. You'll have to keep us updated as you move through and get towards, is it a year long, I'm guessing,
No, I think it's
quarter?
6 cohorts. So it's I think November is our last, is July to November.
Awesome. Okay. Well, you'll have
Yeah.
to let us know what comes about with especially your leadership project.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm just keeping an open mind, and um yeah, it's gonna be so exciting.
Yay. Awesome. And some time in Dallas, it's always
Yeah,
good. A couple days away from the kids, not too many, but you maybe get
I
one
know.
sleep in day.
I know. Always a juggle, because whenever you're away from family, you don't have family support. So I'm just like, I just
Yeah.
gotta get through the summer because the kids aren't in school. And my husband, I'm like, you're gonna have to take off work or something. I don't know.
Yeah. This one's on you, buddy.
Yeah. But he's really supportive, and so we just make it work any way we can.
It's awesome. Well, I'm wondering too, how can people get involved with your organization, or maybe what's the best way for them to connect? Or if someone's listening to this in a rural area, how would you suggest they kind of get started or learn more?
Um, you can start with our website, ohruralsalute.org, which will be live and updated with the new pictures. I got a message just now, so maybe like it's already updated. I'm not sure.
Cool.
Um,
Sneak peek.
yeah, it was great before, but they just put the event pictures from this year on. So it's really, really good. I approved the changes today. But there's ways to contact me on there. You can email me at michelle@ohruralsalute.org, or reach out on Instagram, ohruralsalute, DM. There's a bunch of ways to get a hold of us.
I love that. I love that you're putting that out there too, because I'm sure somebody will take you up on that. So
Yeah.
you just have to be a little cautious when you share your email address, how many emails you're about to get, but in a good way. It'll be good.
Well, it's already out there, so
Yeah. No,
it's
no
all good.
coming back.
Yeah.
Are there any last messages or things that you would want to share with those listening and maybe rural vets in particular?
I mean, if rural veterans, or I don't want, when people hear the word rural veteran, um, I don't want them to be pigeonholed into thinking you just have to live on a farm to receive these services. Like, if you're living in small town USA, real John Mellencamp town, you know what I'm saying? Um, yes, for you. Like if you're in a resource gap, in a resource desert, like we have things for you and you don't have to be alone. Like we have resources even on homesteading from an Air Force veteran who understands the benefits of homesteading for veterans in particular, and what that feels like, how that helps your brain. So there's all sorts of ways that we try to serve you, and there's all sorts of ways to get involved too. So if you have any questions, just reach out, but it never hurts to ask the question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great message, and that you are not alone. And that's a big part of it too, that even if sometimes if you feel isolated or feel like you might be underserved or in a lower served area, that there's somebody out there that cares and that there's people that are willing to help, and services, like I said, you've earned, hopefully you can get. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for just taking the time to talk with us today and sharing more about your organization and the work that you're doing. And like I said, we'll continue to follow up with you and share more, and would love to connect our veterans and their families with Operation Honor Roll Salute as much as we can, and just continue to advance that mission of reaching more who need the help.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate organizations like Mission Roll Call. You guys are doing awesome work. And I just saw your email come through yesterday with the new survey. So I can't wait to dig into that. I have that saved in my email to look because that's so important.
Hey, perfect plug. Thank you, Michelle. Yes, if you're listening or watching this, we do encourage you to share your voices and your opinions with us, which really helps identify those gaps, the challenges, areas of opportunity, so that we can better serve veterans and their families, regardless of where you're located. Even if you're in a major metropolitan city, we still want to reach you and hear from you. So thanks to everyone for tuning in today. Please do check out Operation Honor Rural Salute and all that Michelle and her team are doing. And as always, you can get involved and share your voice with us at missionrollcall.org.